Did you ever think about what's happening with the solar panels after disposal? What is the cost of their recycling? How renewables can impact our planet? What does it take to produce a lithium battery weighing half a ton so that you can drive your Tesla? We bet that you didn't. Today we speak about the hidden truth about renewable energy. If you ask people around you what they think about renewable energy in general, most probably that you will get nothing but positive opinions. Yes, we live during the third industrial revolution, and it is amazing to see all those fields full of solar panels and wind farms like we are living in some kind of high-tech matrix world. Well, we don't. All that technology is pretty basic and absolutely not that high-tech if you ask the people who understand how renewable sources of energy are produced. Most of the human population doesn't understand how things work here. Either because they don't have time to find proper information or because they don't have interest at all. Sadly, this doesn't only address a single person but on the whole nation as well. Did you know that most of the undeveloped countries that want to invest in renewable energy are buying second-hand solar panels from developed ones? If you think that this is a good solution, ask yourself what happens with the waste after the solar panel is unusable anymore. Countries that are buying used solar panels in 99% don't have a waste plan for that panels, so that means that the panels are going to finish in some place in which doesn't exist regulations about toxic and radioactive waste handling. That leads to another problem, pollution. It means that in the future, poor and developing countries are at a higher risk of suffering the consequences. It is important to mention that there are firms that may advertise themselves as solar panel recyclers, but instead they sell panels to secondary markets in nations with less developed waste disposal systems. Yes, we are trying to reduce air pollution, but at the same time, we are polluting landfills. Solar panels often contain cancerogenic cadmium, lead, and other toxic chemicals that can't be removed without breaking apart the entire panel. All these chemicals can easily poison the landfills if they are not stored properly in a matter of months. To be more precise, 6 to 7 months is all they need to be washed by rainwater completely. The International Renewable Energy Agency in 2017 reported that there were about 300,000 metric tons of solar panel waste in the world at the end of that year. The estimated prediction points to the fact that we will reach 78 million metric tons by 2050 if we don't impose regulations for producers. Today, recycling costs more than the economic value of the materials recovered, which is why most solar panels end up in landfills. The impact on the planet is horrific. We are currently producing around 3% of the world's electricity from wind, sun, and batteries combined, and that's all after 25 years of production and implementation. Something is really wrong here. Besides the sun, we are also big fans of batteries. Electric vehicles, phones, and other smart tech are lifeless without them. We are lifeless without that technology. And those technologies are built from non-renewable resources. Building something renewable from non-renewable resources. How ethical that can be? Well, it cannot. For an electric vehicle battery weighing half a ton, somewhere in the world is removed around 300 tons on land to exploit lithium and other rare earth metals that are necessary for the production. Read it again, 300 tons for a 0.5 ton battery. Plus, besides extreme excavation, there are problems such as child labor and toxic waste pollution. Most of the mined areas are in poor and undeveloped countries. There are absolutely no control and regulations that can protect the population from being physically exploited for work in the excavation areas. The saddest thing is those big corporations are completely unethical when it comes to mining in protected areas. They are bribing the population and government to clean the area for excavation, moving people to other parts of their homeland, leaving the toxic waste and trash behind them. The same thing goes for this guy. So many people are admiring him because of his financial success. And there are just a few who are questioning his ethics. To be precise, if you are thinking that buying Tesla will make you a green pal just because you are not making any CO2 emissions, believe us, it won't. It will make you a high-tech junkie, but not an environment protector. It is absolutely the same as any other car, except you won't need to pay for the gas. So, the one who's winning here is you and Mr. Mask, not nature. And what about the wind? Bingo! Did you know that wind farms can disrupt the natural habitat of birds and bats? Whenever the blades of the wind turbines rotate at high speed, the air pressure around the blades shifts and increases the likelihood of birds and bats colliding with the blades. Okay, you think, what to do with a couple of unlucky birds and bats? If that's the sacrifice that we need to offer, then let it be. No. The biggest problem with the wildlife and wind farms lays down into the disruption of the natural habitat by building infrastructure for the farms themselves. Constructing wind farms requires human accessibility to potentially otherwise remote areas, which means building new roads and clearing land. All of this is resulting in habitat loss for certain local animal populations. There is land use as a problem itself. Most of the time the whole infrastructure is built on completely new land. Wind turbines need to have a sufficient amount of space between them, which can add up for large-scale wind farms. On top of that, there is also a wastage problem. Wind turbines are built from an enormous amount of non-biodegradable plastic, which can lead to similar destiny as PV panels and batteries. If they finish in the wild, we are on a good way to create a new environmental disaster. Is there a solution that can solve this problem? Yes, there is. We will talk about that in one of our future videos. Please share this video with your friends and ask them to do the same, because now is the time to act. See you in the next video.